A very good evening, everyone. Good evening, Deepika.
Hey, Sakshi, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, this is Sakshi Rora here, again with you on the 6th day of PosiFest. I welcome each one of you all. And before Deepika begins, I would like to give you a small introduction about her. Deepika, she is an executive life coach, balancing career success and building fulfilling relationships. She is a seasoned professional with over 7 years of counseling and coaching experience, dedicated to empowering executives and high achieving professionals to thrive both personally and professionally. Certified as a career analyst, happiness coach, mindfulness coach, and now a life coach, she specializes in career and executive coaching, guiding individuals through their professional journey towards their goals. With a passion for fostering positive change, Deepika has conducted workshops on happiness and mindfulness for corporates and educational institutions, impacting diverse audiences. In her current role at Tap My Back, she leverages her expertise to emphasize the importance of employee engagement, offering coaching and support to employees seeking personal and professional growth. Her ultimate passion is helping individuals achieve a harmonious work-life balance and build meaningful relationships. By providing tailored guidance and support, she enables individuals to embark on a journey of growth and achievement, paving the way to success in both their personal and professional lives. With her expertise, clients learn to balance career demands with personal fulfillment, creating a rewarding and balanced life. With this, we welcome you, Deepika. The platform is all yours. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Sakshi, for the introduction. Welcome and thanks to each one of you for being here. It would definitely motivate me and encourage me to give more information if at all I can see you. Some faces at least. If you can turn on your videos, it will be great. You can have a pen and a paper near you. We are going to do some activities together. Great. So what is work-life balance? If I ask you, can you tell me what work-life balance is all about? Any answers? Any thoughts? Yes, sir. Sanjeev, sir.
So, in my opinion, work-life balance would be, maintaining the home front or maintaining the personal relationship in line with the professional relationship with the same vigor and the same energy is what would be a work-life balance in my view. Right. Generally, what happens is we are more in tune with our professional responsibilities at times or vice versa. But a balance of both will make sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Right. So when we speak of work-life balance, yes, balance is necessary. But along with the balance, how are you balancing it? How tactfully and how well are you balancing this, right? So your personal goals and your professional goals, your personal responsibilities and your professional aspirations. So let's talk more about all of this. This is something that I'm passionate about. And yeah, let's get into it. Let me know once you see my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially with the digital age, all of us, it is extremely difficult for us to, come out of the digital zone. Come what may, all of us are kind of associated with some or the other electronic gadget throughout the day. Even before we sleep, we kind of are so used to scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through social media before we sleep. That has been like a ritual. You ask anyone, subconsciously it just strikes our mind that, okay, before I sleep, let me just scroll through few reels. Let me just go through what's happening with others' lives, right? So we are constantly not just worried about what's happening with us, but subconsciously or unknowingly, we are also kind of curious and interested in what's happening in others' lives. What is something that is new in Instagram today? What is something I get to see about my friends? What is something I get to see about their professional updates in LinkedIn profile, right? So all of us are so curious, all of us are kind of so engrossed, even though we speak that we are kind of striking a balance between work and life, it's not actually happening, especially with the digital, the approach that we have through the digital media. It is extremely difficult for us to have that disconnect from the world outside our personal space, basically. So yes, when we speak of work-life balance, it is more like the equilibrium, the perfect balance that you create between our own priorities with respect to us and our family and our personal space and our professional aspirations. It could be our career goals, it could be our progression in our current job role, or it could be, other different challenges that we are facing, the work that we are having on a regular basis, how we complete, what time we complete, everything. And in integration with the digital age, right? So how are we actually doing all of this? And what impact is this digital age especially creating in our lives? We are always being there. We always want to be available, right? So it so happens that, okay, constantly, you know, every other, first of all, every other app is there on our phone. We are online on Instagram, we are online on Facebook, we are online on WhatsApp, right? And when we open WhatsApp, we know how many groups we are part of. There is constantly that touch from outside world, and it is so very difficult for us to have, a disconnect from the social media and the gadgets especially. So a simple example. Today, probably I had a task at work. I wanted to search. Okay, since most of you are teachers here, you could probably connect well with what I say. Now, you were supposed to create a question paper and you just wanted to check more on the hot questions, something out of the box you wanted to add in your question paper, you wanted to check. So you take your phone, go on Google, start searching, okay, what is it that is hot? What is it that is kind of out of the box to get some idea? So while I open my Google search, I get a notification, or maybe I get an ad in the right-hand side, which says, something that is trending in the market today, or it could be any gossip, or it could be any latest news and happenings around us. Especially for women. So suppose I get an ad there. Okay, Deepika Padukone today is wearing a black dress and she has come to a shoot. So I click on that picture and it takes me to 1,000 other websites which shows me similar black dresses which I might like. And if you're a man, if I have to make you connect to this, now you're browsing something, you're searching something, and in the right hand side, you start getting information about the latest cars in the market. There is a facelift happening in this brand, there is something new in this brand and so on. So, okay, let me just check what is happening here. So you click on the link, and when you click on the link, it takes to another, that leads to another. Knowingly, unknowingly, we would have spent like about 45 minutes or time without doing anything. And we complain about work and life balance. Even if this was during your, work timings, you spent good 45 minutes of time doing nothing. And when you get a call from your wife or your husband or anybody for that matter, you say, hey, I'm busy. I'll talk to you later. And again, vice versa, you come back home. Since you wasted 45 minutes in the morning, some important task that you had to complete, you couldn't do it. So you end up preparing the question paper at home. Yes. Are you able to connect? So, or has anyone gone through situations like this? Right? So this is something which happens to most of us, especially with the digital era. It is very difficult to get distracted and get carried away, right? all of these ads, and they're all kind of, designed, and the algorithm is designed in such a way that we get attracted to it, we get distracted. It is like, okay, storm came and carried away. So end of the day, we are stressed and we kind of do not have that healthy work-life balance. And it impacts our mental life, it impacts our physical life, because we are not able to sleep properly. We constantly have depression, we end up having burnouts, and we end up showing punch bags. We call as punch bags, right? Our default punch bags would be our spouses or our kids if you're married. If not, it would be your parents. So we end up showing all our frustration on them, because another important factor for this, we do not identify a went out partner. We do not have that emotional connect at all. So even though we have 700 friends in our Facebook profile, I have 600 friends in my LinkedIn profile, but when you're in need for that emotional support, you browse through your list of friends, you don't know whom to reach out to. You don't know whom to approach to share what's happening within you. You don't know how to acknowledge your own emotions. And we end up having burnout. So what is the result? We have a constant fatigue, a lot of health issues, prolonged stress, depression, frustration, uncontrollable emotions, where we just show anger. It's like the tip of the iceberg is filled with the anger, but underneath there are unidentified emotions which are getting buried within ourselves. We don't know when it'll explode. Let's do a very simple exercise here today. If you have a pen and a paper with you, very few questions to just understand our own stress levels. It's going to be on a scale of 0 to 5. For every question that I ask, you can just go ahead and keep giving scores. Okay, so the first question, how often do you feel overwhelmed by your workload? So 0 is never, 5 being always. Okay, on a scale of 0 to 5, how often do you feel overwhelmed by your workload? 0, never. 1 is like rarely. 2, occasionally. 3, often. 4, frequent. And 5, always. Okay, I can probably give these options on the chat box. Are you done? Do we move to the next question? Second one, how well do you manage your time between work and your personal life? How well do you manage your work and personal life?
So in this, the answer will be reversed, right?
Yes, in this answer will be reversed. That's right. So 0 is poor, very poor. 1 is poor. 2 is like fairly well. 3 is well. So 5 becomes exceptionally well. Okay.
Okay.
The next question. How often do you feel guilty about taking time for yourself or for your family? Again, 0 is never, 5 is always. The next question. How satisfied are you with your current work-life balance? 0 becomes completely dissatisfied and 5 becomes completely satisfied. The next question. How often do you bring work-related stress to home with you? How often do you bring work-related stress to home with you? 0 is never, 5 is always. The next question, how well do you disconnect from work during your personal time? Like, for example, it could be your evening time with family and, kids, or the weekends. So how well you disconnect? 0 is very poor, 5 is exceptionally well. Next question. How often do you experience physical symptoms? Could be headache, fatigue, irritation, right? Some kind of stiffness in your body, discomfort for the fact that you're not expressing what's happening within you. So 0 is never, 5 is always. The next question, the last one. How supported do you feel by your organization in maintaining perfect work-life balance? 0 being not supportive at all, 5 being extremely supportive. Can you now sum up the score that you've got? If you have given 0, you will add 0. If you have given 5, that is going to be your score. So just go ahead, add up your scores. $22. Okay. It would be great if you can put in your score on the chat box. So we had 8 questions out of 40. This is out of 40. So we have 22, 21, 26, 24. Any other scores? Anything lesser or higher than what's already put here? 25. Okay. So lower the score, lesser is your stress level. So out of 40, anything above 20 is where you're kind of stressed at some point of time or the other. So as we can see, all of us, right? So this is what is our time for introspection. Even though we feel like, okay, I am striking a perfect balance, there is something that you have to think about. There is something that you will have to understand what is missing. So how do we improve the work and life balance? First of all, set clear boundaries. So when you step out of the workplace, your work is done, right? It is now your time to spend with your family, which is equally important, especially for men out there. Spending time with kids, sitting there and talking to your spouse is equally important with your career aspirations. Your wife, your kids need your emotional support. And as men, yes, your emotions are wired in a different way. It so happens that you may not be able to express what's happening within you most of the times. For women, it is a little better because we are wired where we can handle the emotions better than the men. But yes, women need emotional support. All of us are so engrossed, especially with the updates that we see on the social media. Okay, the other person is doing so much, I should be doing it. The other person is growing, I am not growing. So there is a constant comparison that we keep making, be it in your professional growth or be it in your personal spaces. Somebody else posted a picture with a new car. Oh, I didn't buy a car yet. Somebody posted a picture of a house that is being constructed newly. I didn't do it yet. Oh my God, what's happening with me and my financials? So there is a constant struggle that we have with the outside world and our inner own self. And if at all there is, some time that is available for you, please go ahead, take a break. All of us deserve it, yes or no? Some personal space, you want to go watch a movie, please go ahead and do it. You want to go play something, please go ahead and do it. You don't have to wait for the, approval from your workplace. So how is all of this imbalance affecting us? First of all, can you just introspect to your own self again? If anybody can volunteer and tell me, what are the difficulties you're actually facing? Right? Be it at your personal front or your professional front. What difficulties are you facing? You can put in the chat box so that we can take the questions. We can start talking more about it. You can put a direct message to me so that you don't have to put your name again if you're hesitant. All of us at some point of time, we do come across a situation where we are unable to, strike that perfect balance. What about your emotions? Are you able to control your emotions? Who are your constant punching bags? Is it your spouse? Is it your children? Is it your parents? Do you have a went out partner? Yes, I want to have some volunteers here. Please go ahead and share. Yes, Sakshi.
So, as you know, we are working more on online basis today. And sometimes we have to just, keep changing our timings for the work. We don't have a fixed pattern or a fixed timing. So that changes that come every now and then. How do you balance that with your family? When there is a fixed timing that you're working, okay, everybody is aware, okay, she's going to work from this time to this time. But then now there's a sudden expectation, oh, till yesterday I was doing a particular thing at this time, and then today I'm just busy. So how do you balance that factor?
First of all, delegate. All of us should understand that it is a norm. It is a new normal. Women at home are not the only ones to manage everything at home. Delegate work, be it cleaning utensils, be it, putting things up, be it clearing the mess, whatever, kindly delegate work. If it is something with respect to your children, make them fit enough, make them, aware that it is their responsibility. If they have created a mess, it is their responsibility to clear it as well. Especially for us, people like us, where, our work timings are not fixed. It's very much important to keep your family aware about it, aware about your different working patterns, right? So if you know one day prior, okay, this is how my work timings are going to be tomorrow, kindly plan your day. You don't have to spend 2 hours in the kitchen preparing a 4-course meal or a 5-course meal. It's okay if you're preparing 1-course meal, right? If you're able to have that meal peacefully together as a family, it's more than enough. Have boundaries. If it's, at the dining table, just be with the family. Make sure no newspapers, no phones, no books are allowed. It's the family time for you to spend together. Certain rules and regulations when you start setting, okay, if I have got the homework done to my kids today, tomorrow I have a session at this time, or tomorrow I have some responsibility, I am held up with a meeting. Why don't you take it up? So it is going to be your spouse's responsibility to take it up. It's absolutely fine. Delegate the work, being smart. You don't have to request. You don't have to order, but set clear rules. Make sense?
Yes, Steph. We have a question by Sanjeev ji also put up on the chat box.
Yeah. Okay, so Sanjeev says not able to say no to boss at workplace, spouse, or children at home. Right. Telling a no, objection handling especially, is something all of us have difficulty in. We constantly have that fear in our mind. What if they think otherwise? What if our job is at stake? What if, I don't take it up, somebody else gets it? What if my promotion is at stake? What if my job itself is, risky, right? So I am sure all of us get into situations like this. But one thing which I have myself learned through my journey, changing multiple jobs, changing multiple professions, be truthful. This is one thing. Truth itself is having a lot of answers with it. You don't have to, think twice. You don't have to have that fear in your mind when you're truthful to your job. Today, you had a genuine concern that, okay, you had to go back home probably because your kids had an exam and your wife was unwell. It's a very genuine concern. That is the reason why you're not taking up any extra work at your workplace. It should be absolutely okay to your boss or your manager. Make sure you're genuine whenever you're giving such reasons. If you cook up stories, if you start telling stories at some point of time when you're caught, that is when people stop trusting you. And when there is no trust, none of the truth actually, supports you at any point of time. Whatever is the truth, just go ahead, face it with confidence that yes, this is what is happening. This is the situation. Can I please be excused for a day? Take it one step at a time. I'm sure we can do it. For children, for wife, everyone, the same thing. So with children, if they have demands, I'm sure, they know when to ask questions, especially when you're busy, especially when you're irritated. That is when, kind of a bulb which just strikes on their mind. Okay, this is the time I have to go attack my father. This is the time I have to attack my mother. Just go ahead, draw lines, draw boundaries. You've got this yesterday, you're not getting it today. Done. You don't have to scold, you don't have to hit them every now and then to get things done. You don't have to discipline them just by, raising your voice. Setting clear boundaries and sticking to it is very important. Be consistent with your rules. Today, you said no TV when the homework was not done. Tomorrow, you change the rule. No, they will not listen to you. Stick to your rules. Be consistent at your workplace. Be truthful. These are the three things which will be handy most of the times, and it will solve half the problems.
But there are times, Deepika, say for example, when you're at workplace, you've been told something in a negative way, or you've got a negative feedback for yourself and not in an appropriate manner at times, or even whichever way, whether it's good, bad, and those emotions are held back and it's just carried forward. When you reach home again, there is another scenario where maybe you've reached home late, so it's piled up, your work is piled up, and again, somebody is there to tell you this was not done, this is not done in time, and then your kids say you were supposed to reach on time. It just gets piled up at times. Those emotions, how do you handle? We understand at some point, when we make our boundaries, but to be in those boundaries every time is not possible, I feel. Sometimes it gets very difficult. So how do you really figure out that part?
Right. Especially with negative comments, what I would suggest, and something that has worked also, is again, confront. You don't have to, tell it at that particular moment itself, but whenever possible, please make it a habit to go back to that person and tell, see, this was the comment you made, this was what I was told about, and this is the fact. I was hurt. And you could have probably conveyed me in a different manner. You could have probably called me in person and told me there. I would have taken this feedback as a constructive feedback and I would work on it for sure. Give that assurance to your manager, to your subordinate, whoever it is for that matter, your coordinator, your higher up, anybody, they would listen to it. Make sure you're giving that affirmation, you're giving that confirmation to them that, yes, I am accepting your feedback as a constructive feedback. But I would request you to do it in person if it is something that is told to be just to me, right? You don't have to tell it in front of everyone. And when you come back home, if something happened, okay, it was unexpected and you didn't even have a chance to speak out or confront about it, you had to, carry all of this home. Please take time to just, cut off from everything. Take a pause. It's okay. Sit just with yourself and nobody else. Ask for some time. Please give me some time. I had a bad day at work. I'll come back and give you all the answers. And have that person with whom you can vent out. Please share. Do not keep it to yourself. We always feel, our spouse would not understand what's happening with us. Why is it that I should share whatever happened at my workplace with my spouse? What would they think about me? Right? We have a lot of questions like this. Male ego comes into picture. Why should I go tell my wife? Or sometimes we feel, okay, my work is different. My husband's work is different. Why do I, how do I approach him about my problems? He might not understand. And when we carry all of this and when we put everything within us, it so happens that it just bursts out on a wrong person at a wrong time, and we won't be able to control anything that's coming out of us at that moment.
Sometimes it's a fear of judgment also that
Yes.
comes from the other person.
Absolutely, yes. What if? So we always are in the what if zone. So we never go to that why, and how. How can I solve this? And don't just, listen to a conversation to respond. Please listen to the conversation, take a pause, take a moment, introspect, then react. You don't have to immediately react to it. We are not chemicals, right? We don't have to immediately react. Let's take some time, introspect, understand what's happening, and then slowly respond. So taking a pause and telling at home that it was a bad day at work, and confronting and requesting for some me time, and taking breaks especially also works. We don't take breaks. We tend to put everything one after the other. We are trying to complete one task, take up the next task, and it just gets piled up. The quality just goes away. It is just the quantity which remains. Any other questions here before we proceed further?
There could be a lack of time, basically struggling between the balanced life and the responsibilities of the person. Most of the time, staying in Bombay takes away a lot of time, commuting, traveling.
Definitely.
So by the time you reach from your office to Gartak, you're totally stacked out and totally drained out. Yeah. So there are times when you want to reach there on time, you can't because of the traffic and all these. These problems basically persist in big cities, especially Bombay. So this could be one of the reasons, lack of time. You can't give full family time to your family.
Definitely. So even if you're able to spend that 20 minutes with your family, spend it just with family. You're getting just 20 minutes to sit with your child.
Yeah.
Sit with your child without phone in your hand. So you have 20 minutes with you, with your child, and you're constantly checking what's happening. Okay, you're reading news. You're scrolling through YouTube. You're scrolling through Instagram. How is it even constructive? So for kids, it gives an impression that, okay, my father, my mother doesn't have time for me at all. But for you, yes, I did sit with you for 20 minutes. Why are you still complaining? So that quality time, even if it is for like 10 or 15 minutes or 20 minutes at the max, if you're just there with them, when they come home, ask them how their day was. What difficulties did they face? What were the new things they learned? Especially with children, see if you can connect more and correct less. This is the mistake our new age parents, all of us end up doing. We are constantly in the mode of correction. We keep correcting. Don't do this. Don't keep your leg here. Don't sit like this. Have your food like this. Why are you doing this? Not just with kids, everybody for that matter. We are constantly correcting. We are not even, in the space where we are just leaving them for themselves to be the way they want to be. We are not giving them that freedom at all. Even if I go ahead, preach myself that I've given complete freedom to my son, I've given complete freedom to my wife. But end of the day, you sit there, you question, why did you do this? Why are you wearing this? Why are you, keeping the bag here? Why are you not completing your homework? Why are you watching TV? Please listen. Connect, have that connect. You don't know what's happening with them. You don't know what is going on in their lives unless and until you sit there without any digital access. That is when you will be able to establish that connection. That is why I said, have that family meal time where you're there just for the family. You don't have to spend hours every day. Totally understand. We all have a lot of other responsibilities. Considering all the financial commitments all of us have, being more responsible, taking in more work. I mean, it is like inevitable. We have to do it so that we make sure we are in the line for survival of the fittest. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes. Yeah.
So let's do a very small visualization here. I want you to sit straight, make yourself, you put your feet on the ground. Close your eyes, just follow my instructions. So you're going to inhale from your nose, you're going to exhale from your mouth. It is going to be like how you're releasing, how the pressure cookers make sound, as louder as possible. Okay, so let's release all the stress that's accumulated within us today. Give permission to your own self to release all the negativity that is buried within you, that is stuck within you, which is not finding a way out. Place your hands gently on your knees, on your lap. However, make sure you're grounded, your feet touching the ground, preferably barefoot. Focus completely on your breath. Inhale to the count of 6 through your nose, a very deep inhalation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring your attention to the center of your heart. And with this attention, just slowly scan through your body and just pay attention to any discomfort, any pain, any stiffness that you're facing anywhere in your body. Complete attention. See if you can focus to that pain. If you're facing any pain, you can unmute and tell me yes. Complete attention. Keep scanning your body from the tip of your toe to your head. Any tension, any stiffness, any discomfort? Can you identify? You can open your eyes and do this practice now. If you've identified your discomfort, you can tell me so that we can release it. Just look around in the place wherever you're sitting in your room. Just look around. Look for one resource. Look for one object which kinds of brings back happy memories. Scan through your room. Focus on one resource or object, item which brings happy memories.
Are we supposed to tell?
No.
Okay.
You can just focus on the object or the resource. And now, with the smile that you carried in yourself and with the positivity that you've absorbed from the resource, scan through your body again. If you're still facing any stiffness, any pain, can you tell me? Any kind of discomfort? No? Yes? Or are you feeling relaxed? How is the feeling? It would be good if you tell me. I can accordingly change my next step. No? Sakshi, how are you feeling? Are you feeling good?
Yeah,
Or
I'm feeling relaxed. I'm feeling settled.
okay. Ashok sir, how about you? Any pain, any discomfort you identify in your body?
After having that good feeling, you again scan your body, the whole thing gets dissolved and you are into that good feel itself. Yeah, basically.
Right. So when we absorb the good energy from the resource, it kinds of energizes us. But if you're still having any pain, now as I focus, I have some pain here. Just pay complete attention. It's important we release it at this moment. I can guide you how to release it. Don't close your eyes because we go into the subconscious state. So it is going to be in the conscious state. You're focusing what's happening in your body at this moment, right? So let's start mild tapping now so that if at all there is any tension in your body, it is just going to be released, right? So let's tap at the center of your forehead. Use your hand, right hand, tap at the center of your forehead. Now tap at the center of your head. Use both your hands in the circular motion, tap around your chin. If you're kind of getting any freeze kind of reaction, please let me know. Use both your hands, tap your shoulders, from your shoulders till your palm, tap. Most of us, while we do this, we kind of get numb reaction or that freezing kind of reaction. That is when all the negative energy is getting released from our body. Okay, now tap both your legs on the ground. Both your legs on the ground. If you're still facing difficulty, you can stand up and do it. Tap. And once you're kind of feeling relaxed, you can slowly stop it and take a deep breath in. Since we have released a lot of energy, please take a deep breath in. How do you feel? A brief experience we got today. You could do this whenever you're having any kind of tension, any kind of stress. Just sit at a comfortable place, focus on what's happening within your body. So this is one practice I would recommend everybody do it on a regular basis. You don't even have to share with anyone. Whatever is happening within you will be released automatically. Because our body is so powerful, it converts all of these emotions, negative emotions, into pain. That is the reason why I asked you to focus if you're having any kind of pain. Maybe this was the first time you couldn't completely pay attention. Next time, do this. Don't close your eyes, just focus. When you focus, you kind of get that, alertness on the pain in your body. Then look at the resource, and with the positive energy that you got from the resource, focus again on the pain area. See if you can release it. This is a beautiful experience. Without even sharing what's happening within us to anybody, you can feel better.
Deepika, can I connect with you one-on-one on this? I'm really interested in taking this forward
Definitely.
because I
Definitely.
didn't talk, but I do have a lot of unexplained pain because of chronic ailment. So I would like to talk about this with you.
Absolutely. I'd be glad.
Thanks.
So this comes in handy, especially when you're talking to a third person. You don't feel like sharing anything with him or her. We have that kind of, boundary or limitation that, okay, I am a kind of person who don't feel like sharing what's happening within us to anyone. And when you start practicing this, you will start feeling better.
It's a really helpful technique, I feel, if we just keep it in mind, if we
Definitely.
are aware about it, probably. So, yeah.
Definitely. So 3 things all of us have to focus on. And when we start focusing on our personal, when we say personal, it is more to the family and not our, self-care, right? So this is something that we all miss. This is something we kind of ignore. We take it for granted. We take ourselves for granted. And I get to interact with a lot of clients these days who come to me telling, I don't know, I kind of feel lost. I have no confidence on my own self. When we sit and discuss for an hour, with all that he or she has told me, I mean, it is so very clear that they have achieved so much beyond what is necessary. But still, there is there is something that is missing. There is a gap. This mostly happens to all of us for the fact that we are ignoring our own care. Be it emotional care, be it physical care, spiritual care, wellness, whatever, we kind of ignore. So there was one lady who came to me. She felt her responsibility was to take care of her family. And this story, I mean, her story touched me. I'm still not able to come out of it. So she constantly had a check on everybody's health in her family. She was, 100% there to her children, to her husband, to her in-laws, to her parents, everyone, but she forgot herself in the journey. And all of a sudden, when she could, focus on the symptoms that she was getting, she very later got to know that she was already in the advanced stage of cancer. And she passed away in a month after that. This was a story which I got to know from my client. It was her close friend. And when this client got in touch with her husband, so she just wanted to check with her husband to see how he was, because she was the one who was managing everything. Her husband was completely workaholic. His responsibility was to give that financial stability to his home people. And he felt okay. He was 100% done with his responsibilities, and what else is necessary? He lost his wife, and after a month, when this client met that guy, right, he was happily playing badminton. He had no guilt in his mind, no grief, nothing at all. And when she asked him how he was, he said, I'm all right. She is my new girlfriend. We are getting married in 2 months. So at home, he now had a cook, he had a maid, he had a full-time, care for his parents. Everything was set. But that lady, she thought her only responsibility was to take care of family, in-laws, and she gave up her job for that. There were alternatives, right? So why I told the story is we don't prioritize ourselves. We don't know, what our goal is. We end up spending time in unnecessary things a lot of times, and we ignore something that is important. Probably as a husband, if he had taken her to the hospital when she was, checking on everybody's health on a regular basis, had he checked on her health as well, he could have probably saved her. And a beautiful quote which I came across, maybe coincidence around the same time, with or without us, the life just goes on. So we have to prioritize. We have to make sure, without any guilt, if you feel like doing something, please go ahead and do it. If you feel like taking a break, please take it. If you feel like spending time with your family today, please do it. Yes, work is important, but work is not life. Can you all do this small exercise today? Okay. Draw a circle. Divide that into different pies like this. Okay. It's going to be health, your health, wealth, and how much of time and energy are you giving to your family and friends, and how satisfied are you? Okay. That's how we are going to mark this. Playtime, hobbies, and fun. It could be any passion, anything that you're following on a regular basis, or if you're not following. So that score goes here. Relationship. The relationship could be with your spouse, your parents, your kids, anybody. Your career or job. So with respect to your goals and aspirations, where are you? Personal space. This is something with respect to just you and yourself. Contribution to the society or contribution spiritually. What is it that you're doing for the society if you felt like doing at any point of time, right? Make divisions like this. And now, for example, with respect to health, suppose you are already practicing all the healthy practices. Mark here. If you're unable to contribute, mark here. Okay. So the least is going to be near to the center. Good is something which is closer to the top of the circle. Okay. Can we quickly do this? And this is the wheel of life, which all of us, I would recommend everybody to revisit once in a while to understand if there is any change and are we moving up in the graph. Are you done? Yeah. So can anyone share your experience? How was the graph? Any realization, reflection? As per your expectations, or any realization that you could have probably done better in a particular area? Yes, sir. You want to share your experience, Sanjeev?
So, in my case, except the career part, rest of all are good. That should go up a little bit because a lot of things in plans yet to be materialized. That's why I put it low. Rest of the things are cool. If I see, because fortunately I had done it actually. I mean, this is something is a part of my annual exercise,
Very nice.
goal
Okay.
setting and all that.
Okay.
But then yes, this needs a regular review, and if I review it today, this is where I stand. Career and job is two notch down. Rest of all is good. Rest of all is good. When I say it's a circle, forming a circle, but then this is where the disalignment is happening. It has to little bit go up 2 points, and then all full circle is what I see as on date. It's not 10 though, yet to go a lot, but then yes, rest of the thing is in sync. Talk of contribution, talk of health, talk of wealth. I mean, everything, relationships. But ये वाला है जो उसपे थोड़ा सा चल रहा है गड़बड़. मतलब things are taking time. Maybe everything happens with time. हो सकता है, but then with me it is like that.
Great, great. Good, sir. Good to know that, yeah, this is part of your goal setting. Very much needed for all of us to revisit once in a while.
Yeah.
Anyone else would like to share your experience, your reflections? Sakshi, would you like to share?
Yes. So I feel my personal space, my contribution, my spirituality, my family, friends, relationships, everything is going good. I think there is a balance, I feel.
Okay, very nice.
Yes.
Great. That's nice. So if you have identified, I would suggest please keep this handy and revisit whenever possible. So this is kind of reflection for all of us to understand where we stand with respect to each of the area. So when there is a perfect balance, that is when, we are going to be in the harmony and also have our surrounding in the harmony, right? So having a perfect balance is very much essential. And with respect to goal settings, I know we are reaching close to the end line, but yes, this definitely takes some time for all of us. Make sure your goals are set. Make sure you have, not just the long-term goals, but also short-term goals. Like, for example, okay, in a month, this is what I want to complete and this is what I want to do. Set realistic goals. Time-based goals, very much essential. Don't have, hypothetical goals that, okay, I want to see myself like this. I want to be there. I want to do this. Right? So it is all kind of hypothetical and not time-based at all. So you don't have a clarity and you don't know when that end line and deadline is. So you keep going. Right? So when you have a time-based goal setting done, okay, end of the year, I want to reach at this point of time. End of the year, I want to, get into the next role in my job. End of the year, I want to change my job, or, any progression for that matter in your career or your personal space. Setting realistic, measurable goals is important. Without a clarity in your goals, you're just going everywhere. And yes, it's totally okay to turn down a project. It's totally okay to tell no at any point of time that, yes, I cannot do beyond this. I want a break. It's totally okay to walk away during lunch. You don't have to, carry your phone to your lunchtime, lunch table, desk, whatever. Take a break, make personal rules. As I said, if meal time is your family time, it is just your family time and you don't bring work. to the table. Make time for your annual checkups, health checkups, not just for yourself or your entire family. Please take responsibility, be mindful of your actions, spend time with your family, and give utmost importance and care to your own self. So when you're there, all pepped up, that is when all the other responsibilities fall in place. Thank you so much. Any questions?
So I would like to ask, when we learn new things today, where you've showed tools, techniques, or, you've just brought in some light of how we can bring in a change to bring in a balance in our life. But there are certain patterns and, habits that have already been formed in the family members or in a corporate, how do you bring in that change? Today, if I am making an effort to bring that change, or I come up and I keep my device and I come on the table, but the other person is used to sitting with the device on the table. Now, how do you put that effort, or how long do you keep that patience? So with the work stress, with the work levels that we are coming up with, um, we are already making an effort. It's not that we are ready with that. We are taking the first step and we do not get reciprocation. So how do you work towards it?
It is like one step towards it in a day. It will not happen. The change is massive, right? It is something that is kind of transformational. It will not happen in a day for sure. As I said, be consistent with your rules. Today, if you say no phones on the table, tomorrow, if you're relaxed, you yourself carry phone to the table and you give a justification to that saying, okay, this is something important, I have to take it. So when you're not standing by on the rules that you have set, nobody else would listen to you. Right? So this is
Basically,
something,
it's a long process, as
definitely,
it
definitely.
really needs patience
Yes.
from our side for the first.
Yes. And we have to be consistent. Anything that we preach, we have to follow. Unless and until we follow, even if we are kind of deliberate, okay, I have to do this, you're kind of getting tempted to use it. It's okay. Have a screen, wallpaper on your phone, put me down. Right? So when you unlock the phone, when you see put me down, you're forced to put the phone down. Right?
That's
So
a good way to do it. Yeah.
yeah, keep some reminders to your own self. Another technique is like
Just a minute. Yes, sorry.
yeah. So another very interesting technique which I got to know about is the Pomodoro technique. Right? We could keep reminders. So our mind, human mind, easily gets distracted at the max after 20 minutes. So we can only focus on a particular task for 20 minutes, not beyond that.
Okay.
So what I would suggest, so I am also practicing this. Yes, again, the change is massive. It does not happen in a day because we tend to, go back to another task. Our mind gives you a new thought when you are stuck in one thought, right? Do not multitask. Sit with one work, one job. Do it for 20 minutes. Right? Even if you kind of get an idea on a different task, if you had to complete something else, write it down. Keep a book handy until you get used to this routine, right? Write it down so that you don't forget it. Take a 10-minute break when you're introspecting whatever thoughts you got. This is the initial process. And then for 20 next minutes, do the next task. So multitasking is a myth. Multitasking will not work. You will not have quality. Do one task at a time. Give your complete focus and attention to only that task. Keep reminders. There is also a device, Pomodoro device. If you can buy it, please go ahead, buy it. So every 20 minutes, it gives you an alert. So you will get to know, okay, 20 minutes is done, one task is done. Let me take you, keep 5-minute break. It's okay. Relax, stand up. If you're sitting constantly, if it is a desk job, stand up, relax yourself, take the next task after that. Right? So this way, we are kind of, focused on the task that we are doing, and it just gets settled one after the other. You know how much time is needed for each and every task. You will be able to better manage your tasks. Time management automatically falls in place.
So helpful.
Thank you. Sure, Chitrali, anytime. Any other
Okay,
questions?
so we are nearing
Yeah.
the end. The platform is open for questions to Deepika. Any doubts, any feedbacks, any questions? More than welcome.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So in case we have any query, how do and where do we connect? Please let us know in the chat box so that we can connect. Maybe
Sure.
over a number, that will be helpful.
Definitely. Definitely.
Maybe there are some queries, some personal queries as well, and would need maybe one-on-one if that is okay with you.
Sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you.
So this is my number. Both email address and the number is given here. You can reach out to me.
6:37.
Yes, anything else? Okay, with this, then we come to the end of today, the 6th day, and we'll see you all tomorrow at 4 p.m. Thank you. Thank you, Deepika, once again for being a part
you.
of PosiFest.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Bye.